Hey y'all, and welcome back to Awaken and Align with KP. I'm your host, KP, and today we are talking about intuition. For centuries, we've lived in a patriarchal society that glorifies masculine energy, logic, structure, control, while dismissing the divine feminine as something weak, irrational, or of lesser value. But if we pride ourselves on thinking logically in a masculine way, then let's use logic. Feminine energy exists in all of us, regardless of gender. Yet instead of honoring it, we've hidden it, shielded it, suppressed it. The left hemisphere of the brain, governing logic, reason, and structure, is only half of the equation. And yet, because feminine energy is labeled feminine, and because men in power have long feared the innate power of the feminine, society has conditioned us to ignore it. So, if I've confused you, let's answer this question. What is feminine energy? The divine feminine is intuition. It's feeling, sensing, and flowing without resistance. Ever heard Bruce Lee be like water? Kind of like that. It bypasses judgment. The feminine does not need logic to be valid. And that's what has terrified those who thrive on control, because they cannot quantify it, manipulate it, or force it into a rigid structure. What happens when you stop forcing and start flowing? That's exactly what I did for the past 4 or 5 months, and the results have shocked me. I had nothing to lose, so I said YOLO. Let's start flowing, stop forcing, and we can always go back to forcing if it doesn't work. But the reason I did this was because I was just completely exhausted to the bone, to the soul from hustle culture. Every morning my mind was filled with, I should do this, I should do that, I should. Anxiety, self-criticism, a never-ending battle of pushing through, proving myself, grinding until burnout, taking countless amount of caffeine and supplements, and just trying to get more energy when I was running on fumes. And inevitably, living life this way, rock bottom hit. I lost everything I built my life on. I go into this in a former episode 2 of Awaken, which is called The Truth About Healing, Addiction, Protective Selves, and Nervous System Regulation / also shadow work. Kind of a long title, but this used to be called In Depth with KP, so I go in depth. It is what it is. But that moment forced me to see the truth, that moment of rock bottom. It showed me that I had been living in my masculine energy my entire life, and it was destroying me. Rock bottom can feel terrifying at first, but once I surrendered to it, I saw it for what it was, an opportunity. I had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. Perspective shift. I like that word better. Perspective shift. So I made a decision. I would fully step into my feminine. I didn't shut off my masculine energy. It was way too ingrained, too familiar, but I did stop letting it control me. Instead, I practiced tuning in to me, flowing, feeling. Anytime my logical brain said, I should, quote, I paused and asked, but what do I actually feel called to do? One of the biggest shifts, my workouts. For years, I forced myself to lift weights 3 to 5 times a week because that's what I thought I should be doing. Even when I was exhausted, unmotivated, or felt like my body needed something different, I ignored it. I'd take pre-workout, push through, and slap myself on the wrist if I didn't show up. Tisk, tisk. Why? Because deep down, I believed I had to in order to look a certain way, to perform a certain way, or in order to be a certain person. My motivation wasn't about feeling good either. It was about controlling my body and controlling my actions. But once I started tuning in to me and source, I really started listening. I let go of the rigid routine. I stopped making fitness a punishment and started making it a conversation with myself. Now, I only move in ways that feel good. Some days, that's lifting. Some days, it's Pilates. Other days, it's a long hike, a long walk, or a deep stretch session, or twerking in the living room with my friends. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to do? Sometimes we get crazy. Sometimes we dance. Sometimes we move like maniacs, and that's fun too. That's still exercise. You know what? That fuels your soul. That fuels your spirit. Sometimes movement just means cleaning my space, and other times the best thing I can do is rest without guilt. And for the first time in my life, I stopped looking at my body in the mirror. For 2 full months, I avoided checking out my physique. That's crazy for me. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't want to let old patterns of self-criticism pull me back into forcing workouts out of fear and control. I wanted to break free. And when I finally did look, I loved what I saw. I felt stronger. I also felt more feminine. More defined, but in a different way. My body wasn't just changing, it was thriving. My boobs also grew back a little. And the best part, I didn't have to push myself into exhaustion to get there. My energy started lifting and getting naturally better. And now I fully trust that when I give my body what it needs, it pays off in every way. My energy has increased every single day. My self-confidence is unshakable. But the biggest shift, I actually enjoy my workouts now because I don't go in with a rigid plan. I follow what feels right. There's no, I should be doing this. There's what feels good for my body and my mind and my soul today. That's how I structure my workouts. Every single workout, I stop when my body feels done. Not when the workout's over. I stop when my body wants me to stop. Some days I complete the whole workout and I feel unstoppable. And other days I just do what I can and leave feeling at peace, knowing I honored my body. The same goes for hiking, dancing, cleaning, any movement. No matter what, I make sure I finish feeling good. Not like I'm going to run on fumes for the rest of the day. I make sure I'm feeling connected to myself, proud of myself. And because of that, I'm more focused overall, more present, and I get all of the mental and physical benefits of exercise without the stress. Anyways, that's just one example of how leaning into my intuition has benefited me in my life. Throughout these 3 months, every time I caught myself in forced energy and shifted back into flow, everything changed. Lucid dreams started coming to me, guiding me, revealing insights I could use in my daily life. Synchronicities became constant, reassuring me that I'm on the right path. The exhaustion, the anxiety, the self-criticism, remember that? It melted away. Bye-bye. And the most profound shift, I feel my feminine energy. I understand deeply why men in power have always feared women who are tapped into this side of themselves. Because it is powerful beyond measure. When you are deeply connected to your body, your intuition, the unseen forces that are guiding you, life becomes effortless. Not effortless, but it really does feel that way compared to what it felt like before. I'll tell you that. You stop chasing and things start flowing to you. You stop forcing and opportunities align naturally. For the first time in my life, I fully trust myself. My mind has stopped racing with overthinking, overanalyzing, over-rationalizing. My body no longer feels like it's being pushed beyond its limits. Because society has conditioned us to use only half of our power. And you know what we should say to that? Fuck no. Excuse my French. So here's my challenge for you. Think about something you've been ignoring. A feeling, a gut instinct, a pull towards something you know is right, but you just keep suppressing. How many times have you ignored your intuition only to later realize it was right all along? Imagine how much lighter, freer, and more aligned your life could feel if you stopped forcing and started listening. Tapping into your intuition, your feminine energy, is not complicated. It starts with this. Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? And listen. The answers will come effortlessly. Thank you for tuning in. That's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you rate the podcast a 5 stars. It helps me find more people that need these messages like yourself. And I appreciate you so much. Until next time, stay awake, stay aligned, and keep stepping into your highest self. XOXO, KP.